All right, Sun, wave your hands. Okay, Mercury, wave your hands. Venus, wave your hands. Earth, raise your hands. Mars, raise your hands. So we discussed that. We found that really by looking, that each toilet paper square is worth about 10 million kilometers. And so we looked and we thought, those planets are pretty close together and pretty close to the sun. And we weren't sure. We were like, well, is Mars considered pretty close to the sun? Well, I think you're going to know the answer once you see the next part of our solar system. Jupiter, raise your hands, wave them up. Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune. So, if we are going to describe Mercury, Venus, Earth, and Mars as pretty close to the sun and pretty close to each other, how would we describe Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune? How would we describe it, Sophia?
Pretty far away.
Pretty far away from what?
The sun.
The sun and from what else? It's pretty far away from the sun, and what else, Stella?
All those planets.
Okay, all those planets, but what about the planets out here, Aziza?
Well, it's pretty far from the planets next to them too.
Absolutely. So right here, the planets are close to each other and close to the sun. And here, the planets are far from each other and far from the sun. Definitely. So, this is going to make sense now when I tell you the first set of nicknames that the planets have. The first set of nicknames is the inner planets and the outer planets. So what do we think is the inner planets? What do we think? What planets are the inner planets, do you think, Aubrey?
Mars, Earth, Venus, and Mercury.
Yes, Mercury, Venus, Earth, and Mars are considered the inner planets. So then what are considered the outer planets, do you think, Lauren?
Jupiter, Saturn, and Uranus, and Neptune.
Okay, does that make sense why one's called the inner planets and why one's called the outer planets?